Well, and that is certainly their prerogative. It is not the position I would take personally, but at the same time, I do think it would be incredibly unfortunate to go forward with this nomination on the floor, even in the committee, without having the ability to talk to Dr. Ford. Her life has been upended. You mentioned maybe doing something at her home. They can't do that because she's had to move out of her home right now. We need to let this rest. We need to make sure we get the FBI to do that. You can't have a full committee hearing that is without getting more facts. If we're just going to be her statement without being tested ahead of time or looking at the facts, and Judge Kavanaugh's, that hearing could devolve into just nothing but theatrics.
Hasn't it already, though, Senator? Do you ever worry that the same sentiment and respect might not be shown to the judge, that this is unfair to him, and that this letter from this woman that dates back to the summer, Dianne Feinstein had in her hands, didn't do anything with it? There were a lot of reasons back and forth on that, but do you think Democrats on that committee, I know you're not on that committee, handle this fairly?
No, look, I think that we have to be fair to Judge Kavanaugh. We have to be fair to Dr. Ford. I've said that from the very beginning, Neil, but the only way to be fair to everyone is to let the FBI get engaged in this, to look at the facts. That's what they're trained to do, and they do it all the time. So that way, when the Senate does convene and the Judiciary Committee convenes, they're going to have more than just a statement and a denial. And then that way they can do things appropriately. I'd like to see both sides of the aisle just tamper down the theatrics. And right now, the problem we've got is that we seem to have colleagues on one side of the aisle that push this through, colleagues on the other side saying we need to wait. Unfortunately, it looks like people have already made up their minds, and I don't think that that's appropriate. I think we need to let their investigation.
I know you're trying to be very even-handed about it, sir, but I mean, the president just wonders about the timing of all of this. You heard what he had to say before he went down to North Carolina. That he doesn't think this process is being fair, or that Democrats on the committee, particularly Ms. Feinstein, who he said had this letter in her hands, didn't do anything about it, suddenly, lo and behold, did, that he's angry. So Republicans are locked into their position, as you said, Democrats locked into their position, and I don't know if a single vote changes as a result.
You may be correct about that, but the fact is we are where we are. I have said from the very beginning that I have been concerned about this process. You know, Chairman Grassley asked for hundreds of thousands of documents that he said back in the summer were appropriate to get to review prior to a nomination being considered by the committee. Those documents have not all been turned over. They can't be turned over until October. So there's a fundamental unfairness to both parties, and that has been ongoing, and whether or not this could have been done earlier is really beside the point at this stage of the proceedings. What we have to do is play the hand that we're dealt now. The hand we're dealt now is to be fair to both parties, to be fair to Judge Kavanaugh, to be fair to Ms. Ford, and let's go forward. Let's just see what we can get with an investigation. Neil, it would not take long. Nobody's saying to put this back to the end of the year or to the first of next year. It would not take long for a very efficient FBI to update a background check based on what they've heard right now, let the committee review that, and then have this hearing as they see fit.